Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is WireDogSec and I'm back with another video. In today's video, we are continuing on with TryHackMe, the pre-security learning path, how the web works, and this particular room is called How Websites Work. To exploit a website, you first need to know how they are created. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. Task number one, how websites work. By the end of this room, you'll know how websites are created and will be introduced to some basic security issues. When you visit a website, your browser like Safari or Google Chrome makes a request to a web server asking for information about the page you're visiting. It will respond with data that your browser uses to show you the page. A web server is just a dedicated computer somewhere else in the world that handles your requests. And you can see that from the fancy infographic how this process works. Request from browser goes to back end server here. Response from the server to the internet. Response from the server continues on to your web browser on the client machine, which appears to be this laptop here. There are two major components that make up a website. Number one, front end, client side, the way your browser renders a website. Number two, back end, server side, a server that processes your data and returns a response. There are many other processes involved in your browser making requests to a website or web server, but for now, you just need to understand that you make a request to a server and it responds with data your browser uses to render information to you. Now let's take a look at this question here. What term best describes the component of a web application rendered by your browser? Well, let's see here. That will be the client side. So that's going to be the front end here, right? Because you're rendering a website. Let's go ahead and hit that in. There we go. Now task number two here, talking about HTML. And let's see what they have to say for us. Websites are primarily using the following. HTML to build websites and define their structure, CSS, which stands for cascading style sheets, to make websites look pretty by adding styling options, JavaScript, implement complex features on pages using interactivity, hypertext markup language, HTML, is the language websites are written in. Elements, also known as tags, are the building blocks of HTML pages and tells the browser how to display content. The code snippet below shows a simple HTML document, the structure of which is the same for every website here. And as you can see here, you got the doc type at the top here. Everything is here. And the tags they're talking about, header tags, title, etc., etc. The HTML structure as shown in the screenshot has the following components here. Doc type defines that the page is a HTML5 document. HTML tag here, element is the root element of the HTML page. The head element contains information about the page. Body element defines the HTML body document's body. Only content inside the body is shown in the browser. The H1 element defines a large heading. The P element defines a paragraph. There are many other elements, tags, used for different purposes. For example, there are tags for buttons, and you have it here, images, lists, and much more. Tags can contain attributes such as the class attribute, which can be used to style an element, e.g., make the tag a different color, p class equals bold hyphen text, or the source attribute, which is used on images to specify the location of an image. You got image, you got the source of the image right here. An element can have multiple attributes, each with its own unique purpose, e.g., p attribute 1 equals value 1, attribute 2 equals value 2. Elements can also have an ID attribute, p ID equals example, which is unique to the element, unlike the class attribute, where multiple elements can be used or can use the same class. An element must have different IDs to identify them uniquely. Element IDs are used for styling and to identify it by JavaScript. You can view the HTML of any website by right-clicking and selecting View Page Source, Chrome, Show Page Source, Safari. Take a look at these questions here. Let's play with some HTML. On the right-hand side, you should see a box that renders HTML. If you enter some HTML into the box and click green render HTML code button, it will render the HTML on the page. You should see an image of some cats. So let's go ahead and do that here. View site. Take a look here. All right, click render. All right, I assume that's okay. It's already there. I didn't even click the button, but at least one of them showed up. I don't know what's going on here with the second one. Maybe we'll get into that part. But the link appears to be broken to that image. When this image on the cat is broken, yep, fix it, and the image will reveal the hidden text answer. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this here. And let's see. That's cat image 1, 2. There we go. So let's change that to JPG. And let's hit render here. There we go. Awesome. And the hidden text right there. So let's go ahead and type that in here. HTML hero. And it says add a dog image to the page by adding another image tag img on line 11. Okay. The dog image location is image / dog -1 .png. What is the text any dog image? So let's go ahead and clear all this out here. And here we go. img source equals. All right. Now let's go ahead and copy and paste this in there. And we should be good to go. All right. There we go. All right. Let's go ahead and render. And there you have it. Dog HTML appears to be the text there. There we go. Now let's go ahead and close this out and let's continue on to the next task here. We're going to talk about JavaScript apparently. JavaScript, also known as JS for short, is one of the most popular coding languages in the world and allows pages to become interactive. HTML is used to create the website structure and content, while JavaScript is used to control the functionality of websites. Without JavaScript, a page would not have interactive elements and would always be static. JS can dynamically update the page in real time, giving functionality to change the style of a button when a particular event on the page occurs, such as when a user clicks a button, or to display moving animations. JavaScript is added within the page source code and can be either loaded with script tags or can be included remotely with the source attribute. Script equals, and you have the location of the JavaScript file, and close the script out. The following JavaScript code finds a HTML element on the page with the ID of demo and changes the element's contents to hack the planet. How clever. Document.get element by ID, demo.enter HTML yada 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 equals hack the planet. HTML elements can also have elements or events such as one click or unhover that execute JavaScript when the event occurs. The following code changes the text of the element with the demo ID to button clicked button. You can see the rest there listed out. Click me and then close out that button tag. On click events can also be defined inside the JavaScript tags and not on elements directly. It says click the view site button on this task on the right hand side. Add JavaScript that changes the demo elements content to hack the planet. All right, so let's go ahead and do that here. Hey everybody, just a quick little blurb here. As you can see here, most people that view my channel are not subscribers. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you're enjoying the video, please consider hitting the like button. It helps get me in the algorithm, helps spread the good word out there, helps bring more people and increase our glorious community here. All right, I'm all about helping out others. I know what it's like to come up in cybersecurity or even try to get into cybersecurity and not knowing where to look. I'm just having this channel up so I can help out other people. All right, that's all I got. So let's go ahead and just do some copy and paste in here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and grab this information here, located in the script area right here. Yes, this is exactly what we need. I'm going to grab this out. I'm going to copy it right here where it says add your JavaScript and hit enter. There we go, hack the planet, and there we go. JS is fun. It's going to be our answer to that question. And this next one here is going to ask us to, I believe, create a button of some sort. So let's go ahead and hit submit here. It says add the button HTML from this task that changes the element's text to button clicked on the editor on the right. Update the code by clicking the render, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so we're going to use this here. Go ahead and take this out and just copy and paste it here. I believe you put it here. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Render. Awesome. Okay. Button clicked. Okay. Yep, exactly. All right, so that should be it. And let's go ahead and continue on here. So you can do all kinds of things with Java, make the website more dynamic and such. Let's see, task number 4, sensitive data exposure. Sensitive data exposure occurs when a website doesn't properly protect or remove sensitive clear text information to the end user, usually found in a site's front-end source code. We now know that websites are built using many HTML elements, tags, all of which we can see simply by viewing the page source. A website developer may have forgotten to remove login credentials, hidden links to private parts of the website, or other sensitive data shown in HTML or JavaScript. Sensitive information can be potentially leveraged to further an attacker success within different parts of a web application. For example, there could be HTML comments with temporary login credentials, and if you viewed the page's source code and found this, you could use these credentials to log in elsewhere on the application, or worse, use to access other backend components of the site. Whenever you're assessing a web application for security issues, one of the first things you should do is review the page source code to see if you can find any exposed login credentials or hidden links. And let's see here. You have an example over here to do remove test credentials admin and password 123. Answer the questions below. View the website on this link. What is the password hidden in the source code? Now, the chances of this actually happening in the real world are probably slim these days, but I'm not saying it's impossible. There may be something out there that's like this, but you'll mostly see this stuff on like CTF. Okay, after clicking on that link, it brought up that website, and all it did was right click and view page source. And you can see here, remove test credentials, usernames, admin, password is test, admin. So let's hop back over and input this information and continue on. As you can see here, I have the username and password inserted, hit login, and here we go. Congratulations. All right, what is the password? And that was the test password, so hit submit. There we go. And go ahead and close this out. And let's continue on to the last task here. We're going to talk about HTML injection. HTML injection is a vulnerability that occurs when unfiltered user input is displayed on the web page. If a website fails to sanitize user input, filter any malicious text that a user inputs into a website, and that input is used on the page, an attacker can inject HTML code into a vulnerable website. Input sanitization is very important in keeping a website secure, as information a user inputs into a website is often used in other front-end and back-end functionality. A vulnerability you'll explore in another lab is database injection, where you can manipulate a database lookup query to log in as another user by controlling the inputs that directly used in the query. But for now, let's focus on HTML injection, which is client side. When a user has control of how their input is displayed, they can submit HTML or JavaScript code, and the browser will use it on the page, allowing the user to control the page's appearance and functionality. And it basically shows you an example of that. One, user types information into the field, what's your name, and that's how it's displayed on the back end or on the website itself. And it goes over here. Yeah, input is used JavaScript function to show the name of the page. Um, Number 3 says no input is sanitized, so you can write your own HTML or JavaScript, and it will be used on the page. The image above shows how a form outputs text to the page. Whatever the user inputs into the what's your name field is passed to a JavaScript function and output to the page, which means if the user adds their own HTML or JavaScript in the field, it's used in the say hi function and is added to the page. This means you can add your own HTML such as a h1 tag and it will output your input as pure HTML. The general rule is never to trust user input. To prevent malicious input, the website developer should sanitize everything the user enters before using it in the JavaScript function. In this case, the developer should remove any HTML tags. Question: view the website on this task and inject HTML so that a malicious link to http://hacker.com is shown. All right, so let's go ahead and do that here. You're going to click view, website here, and let's just see here. Test. Let's see, welcome test. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this here. Let's do H1. Let's go ahead and close this out. Oops. Welcome test. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this here. All right, so if you're not familiar with HTML and how to add an actual link in here, I recommend doing some Googling. Once you've done that, you'll come across this A tag here, and as you can see, you have everything listed out. Now this should work here. It's inside these header 1 elements here. All right, href equals http hacker.com. All right, and I got click here for the actual text that's going to display. And there we go. HTML injection is going to be our last answer here. So go ahead and put this in here, and that's it. All right, that wraps up this particular room here. If you found it of use, I recommend that you consider hitting the subscribe button with the notification bell if you're new here. Hit the like button if you enjoy what you saw here, and hit the comment section below on your thoughts and opinions. As always, thank you for watching, and have a nice day. See you later.